Well, this is Brian with Modern Music Lessons. This lesson is about learning the note names on the guitar. Like, how does that work? Like, how do you get to that? Um, Basically, it starts with learning the open strings. So, if you don't know the open strings, it's E, A, D, G, B, and E in standard tuning. I'm just going to address standard tuning. If you want to learn it in drop D, you would do this again, but with that tuning system. What it starts with is having a firm understanding of the chromatic scale. Chromatic scale is the idea that you have a sharp in between every note except for 2 points. That would be between B and C and E and F. Those are the 2 points where B does not have a sharp. Okay. Likewise, if you have a flat, flat is one behind. So like if you had an A flat would be the fret behind, okay, or the note behind. Or if you're looking at a piano, the black key right before the note that you're looking at. Okay, so that being understood, if we started with the E string, actually let's start with the A string, okay? What you would do is you'd basically take one finger, okay, and go up the string. So you have A, followed by A sharp, then B, then C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp to A. Now the octave, everything repeats at the 12th fret, okay? So if you look at your dots, which is your inlays, okay, think of the 12th fret, the one with the two dots, as being the open string. So these dots correspond with the notes that are down here. So the firmer understanding you have of the open to the 12th fret, the more understanding you have from the 12th fret to the 24th. This one only goes to 22, but some of them go higher. Some of them have less. But it's to learning all of that as well, okay? But we're just going to deal with open to 12th fret. So once you learn the chromatic scale that way, and you would want to do that down every string, but that's not where it ends. So pretty much what you want to do is you want to map out where all of the natural notes occur. The natural notes would be the equivalent of the white keys on the piano. So it would be A, B, C, D, E, F, G, back to A again. So in this case, every tone would be a whole step, which would be 2 frets apart, except for those natural half steps, which is E and F and D and C. Okay. So the pattern on the A string would go as such: A to B on the 2nd fret, C on the 3rd fret, D on the 5th fret, E on the 7th fret, F on the 8th fret, that natural half step, and then the 10th fret would be the G, and the 12th fret would be the A. So if you guys haven't experienced that and done that with all strings, you should, and quiz yourself. Like put the guitar tuner on. You know, it's a good test for this, and say, okay, well, where's the E tone? Okay, on the A string. Okay, it's there. Where's the C? Where's the F? You know, a lot of people do a lot of different things. Like they'll put all 7 tones, natural notes, in like on a separate sheet of paper and put them in a cup and shake them up and pull it out and try to find it. You know, whatever you want to do. You know, but anything to just get random tones. Okay. Now, once you've done that up and down each string, the next step, people think, okay, learn all these crazy positions, but it still is just very simple idea using 1 or 2 fingers. This is more of a visualizing exercise more than learning a scale shape. Okay. So the idea of this is you would think of the scale, the natural scale, A B C D E F G, A B C D E F G, ascending into affinity. Okay. But let's start on A since that's a good starting point. So find the A string the A note on the low E string, which would be the 5th fret. And what we're going to do is we're going to play 1 note per string. Okay. So the idea of this is we have the A on the 5th fret, and then you would be forced to find the B on the A string, which that's pretty simple. Most method books tell you it's the 2nd fret on the A string. You know, that's pretty straightforward. And then we have C, but we're only allowed one note per string. So the D string, we have to find a C. So we go up and we find the C on the 10th fret there. So that's C. And then we think of the next note, which would be D. But D would have to be found on the G string, so you would have to figure out where that is, and that's the 7th fret on the D string. After D would be E, so you have to find that on the B string. That's a little bit more simple because it's the 5th fret, which is how we tune the E string. Okay? And then the E string would have to be an F, 1st fret, but we ran out of strings. But the scale is still going up, so the next tone would be G, which we would have to go back to the previous string, which would be the B string, and find a G tone. Okay, so that tone would be here, G. And then we would find an A, which is the next tone after. We have to find it on the G string, which is there. And then the next tone after that, after A, would be B, which we have to find it on the D string. And again, we're just playing one note per string. Okay. And then after B would be C, which is 3rd fret on the A string. And then we have, after that would be D, which is the 10th fret on the low E string. And then you would continue rattling around in there until you get mentally exhausted, or, it is really mentally exhausting to kind of do that after a long period of time. So I would suggest just doing it for like a few minutes a day, do like a couple minutes going up and down each string, and then doing like a couple minutes playing one note per string, doing like simple things like that. Now again, there is a pattern to it, but I wouldn't necessarily memorize it for the sake of like shredding a scale that way. It's just more of like a visualizing thing. And you notice after like a week or two of you doing it, you start really knowing where like the notes are. Because naturally, if you know where the natural notes are, like if you know where C is, you automatically kind of know that C sharp is kind of one above it. Or if this is D, that's probably D sharp, Or if this is E, that's E flat, because D sharp and E flat is the same thing, that kind of thing, So anyway, that's the whole spiel on learning the notes. Now this exercise is not just exclusive. You want to do this exercise in learning music and also your studies. So whenever you're studying guitar, try to think of the notes that you're playing, not tab numbers. And over a period of time, all this kind of becomes ingrained. So thank you for tuning in. I'm Bryan with Modern Music Lessons, and I will see you next time.